Hello beautiful humans, my name is Annie and welcome back to my channel Annie Do Reads. Today we will be doing my September TBR and this is going to be quite a doozy, so strap yourselves in. Before we get on to anything else, I want to talk about the readathons that I'm going to be taking part in September. The first of which is Becca's Bookoplathon, which is run by Becca from Becca and the Books. This is based on the TBR game that she does on her channel every month, where she creates a Monopoly board filled with lots of reading prompts. The rules and everything for this readathon are all on her channel. I'll definitely link her announcement video below. There's still time to do your own board. So basically she created this board specifically for the readathon for us, and I went through and did 8 different roles and got myself some prompts from this, so we'll be going over those. Additionally, you may or may not know that I've been participating in the N.E.W.T.s magical readathon, which is hosted by G from Book Roast. She kind of did a very low-key version of it, and it did technically take place in August, but because it's the last one of its Harry Potter kind, I decided to kind of stretch it into 2 months because I wanted to be able to qualify for 4 careers. If you're interested in more of the N.E.W.T.s, I'll definitely link her video below as well explaining this because there's a lot of details and I'm not going to do it justice. Basically, the N.E.W.T.s magical readathon is set in the Harry Potter universe, which, as we know, has become slightly problematic to be supportive of. But it's set in the Harry Potter universe, and the goal is to qualify for a profession in the magical world. In order to qualify for that profession, you have to complete a certain number of courses and subjects, and each subject has 3 different levels, 3 different grades you can get. An A for acceptable, an E for exceeds expectations, and an O for outstanding. And because I'm doing 4 different careers, it ended up working out to about 21 books that I have to read. So I did start this in August, and I've read 10 books so far towards my goal, and I have to finish out the rest in September. So I'll let you know all that I'm doing for those. And then finally, in the last week of September, I will be participating in Books and Lala's Buzzword Readathon. This is going to be the last, major Buzzword readathon that she's gonna do, which is super sad, but it will be continuing in its own way. I'll link, again, her video where she talks about all that down below. The way that the Buzzword readathon works is that she will pick a word that she finds all over her TBR shelf, and basically all you have to do is read as many books as you can with that word in the title, and for this round the word is night. So I have 4 different books on this TBR with the word night in it as well. Before we get to the Bookopoly roles, which is I know why probably most of you are here, I am going to quickly talk about the N.E.W.T.s, what I've done so far and what I still have to do. So if you're not interested in that, I will leave the timestamp to get straight to the Bookopoly roles there, but I know some people, like myself, get really into the minutia of figuring out what prompts work for what and what books and on the N.E.W.T.s, and so if you're really into the N.E.W.T.s, stick around. If not, go to this time. Okay, so let's just do a quick overview of what I've read so far in the N.E.W.T.s. First of all, I got my A in Ancient Runes by reading Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo for the prompt, read a book whose author has a name which starts with a B. I got my E in Ancient Runes by reading And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie for the prompt to read a classic. Next, I got my A in Astronomy by reading This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills for the prompt, read a book with stars on the cover or in the title. I got my A in Defense Against the Dark Arts by reading a thriller, and for that I read The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I got my A in Divination by reading The Last Flight by Julie Clark for the prompt read a book with a red cover. And I got my E in Divination by looking at the first book I saw on my TBR, which was Pet by Kweke Emezi. Next, in History of Magic, I got my A by reading a historical fiction, which is Atomic Love by Jenny Fields. And I'm very close to getting my E in History of Magic by reading 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo for a book that has a mostly black cover. I got my A in Transfiguration by reading a book with an animal on the cover, and for that I did Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. And finally, for Arithmancy, I got my A by reading All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson for a nonfiction, and I got my E by reading a book that ends on an uneven number, and for that I picked Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. So, for those keeping up at home, I read the entire Shadow and Bone trilogy, and I'm in the middle of 6 of Crows. So, I'm catching up on Leigh Bardugo, and I am so happy about it. Also, for those of you who are wondering, I am trying to become qualified in the N.E.W.T.s for Alchemist, Librarian, Mage of Visual Arts, and Orologist. So that's why I'm reading so many different books. Alright, on to the Bookopoly roles.
Hello, editing Annie here. I just wanted to let you know that I clearly did not know how to use the GoPro or hold it. So there's a lot of random scrambling noises, which are very annoying, and I apologize for them. I will do better in the future. I hope you can still enjoy the video.
All right, welcome to the rolling portion of this video. We are on my bed, which is always fun. And yeah, I'm holding the camera because I don't have a tripod for this GoPro. So here we go. All right, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dark cover. For roll number 1, I rolled dark cover, and I'm picking for that one 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. This book is about a man who finds himself at the center of an FBI murder investigation because the killer has been following his list of fiction's most ingenious murders. This book will also give me my O in arithmancy because it is a book between 260 and 299 pages. All right, roll number 2. Another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, excuse me, dog. Excuse me. There we go. Audiobook or ebook? For roll number 2, I landed on the audio or ebook space. And for that, I will be listening to the audiobook of A Week to be Wicked by Tessa Dare. I'm currently listening to A Night to Surrender, which is the first book in the Spindle Cove romance series, and I'm absolutely loving it. I love the narrator, so I'm really excited to listen to the second book in that series. All right, roll number 3. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Standalone. For roll number 3, I landed on Read a Standalone, and for that I'm going to read The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This is set in a town where every year they sacrifice a child to the witch who lives in the forest to stop her from terrorizing her town. It turns out the witch is actually quite kind and gentle and rehabilitates these children until one year she accidentally feeds a baby Moonlight, filling them with extraordinary magic. This sounds really wonderful, and it has the Newbery Award sticker on it, so I don't think I'll be able to go wrong with this book. It will also give me my E in Transfiguration for reading a book with a dragon on the cover, because there is a little tiny dragon on the cover. Roll number 4. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, set in the past. For roll number 4, I got a book set in the past, and for that I will be reading The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu, which is about Mozart's sister and her desire to also be a composer. I believe it's both historical and speculative, and by that I mean it has slightly magical elements to it, so I'm super interested to see what this book has in store. And once again, it also fits for my A in Herbology prompt to read a book with flowers on the cover, which, as you can see, there are little flowers mixed in the tree branches. Roll number 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy, a first chance card. Here we go. That's Queenie by Candace Katie Williams. That was one of the ones that I wanted. So, yay. For roll number 5, I got a chance card, which thankfully was one of the books that I wanted to read, and I pulled Queenie by Candace Carty Williams. This is about a black woman in England and her struggle to find herself and what she wants to do with her life. All right, roll number 6. 7. Ooh, a small book, under 300 pages. Oh, excuse me, dog. Every time. This is why we film on a table and not on a bed. Okay, you can just speed out there. That's fine. For roll number 6, I got a small book under 300 pages, and for that I'll be picking The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. This is a book about a girl whose sister just passed away, and she's stuck in this weird love triangle between her sister's boyfriend and this new guy at school. I read almost half of this, I think, about a couple years ago, and I got, at that time, a certain aspect of this book was a bit triggering to me, so I put it down, but I think I'm ready to pick it back up. It will also be able to give me an A in potions for a book with Sky in the title. All right, roll number 7. We haven't had any doubles yet, which is actually really surprising. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. LGBTQ rep. For the penultimate roll, I got LGBTQ plus rep, and I'm going to pick The Space Between Worlds by Micah Johnson. This is a multiverse sci-fi story where you can travel between worlds in the multiverse, but only if you are dead in the other world, and so the main character has been killed in like 370 something worlds, and so she's perfect for the task of traveling between the worlds in the multiverse, but suddenly people start killing off even more of her, and so it's all about figuring out what the heck is going on, and there is a romance between the main character and her handler. And finally, roll number 8. No doubles. Oh, still no doubles. Okay, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adult. And finally, for roll number 8, I got an adult book, and I'm picking The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I've been meaning to read this for months now, and this is the perfect time. This is about a set of twins who decide to live in very different worlds, one black and one white, and it follows them and their children. Again, everyone's been reading and loving this recently, and I'm really excited to see what it's all about. And of course, it fits for a N.E.W.T.s magical readathon prompt for herbology. It will give me an E for the prompt, a book that might be impactful. I was lucky enough to not roll any doubles, but the TBR is not over yet because I still have the books for the Buzzword Readathon. So I'm going to go through those real quick. First, 2 of the books for the Buzzword Readathon also fit for N.E.W.T.s prompts, so I'll do those first. To get my O in Transfiguration, I have to read a hardcover, and for that I picked a recent thrift store find, What the Night Knows by Dean Koontz. I went to the thrift store with the express purpose of looking for books that have the word night in them, and this one sounded really interesting. I think it's going to be a weird one. It's apparently a ghost story, which I didn't quite realize. I thought it was just a thriller, but basically it's about there's a small town, there's a killer, and a bunch of years later, the one survivor of this murderer is back in this town and is now a detective trying to catch this murderer, but I think there's like a ghost story element to it. I'm not totally sure what's going on, but I think it'll be interesting. Also, apparently, my dad used to read a lot of Dean Koontz, which is which is pretty fun. The other books that I'm going to read in the Buzzword Readathon that will also fit for a N.E.W.T.s prompt is A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is the sequel to An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, which I read like 2 years ago and gave 5 stars, and I really need to continue in this series. It'll also give me my O in Potions to read a book over 450 pages. The 2 other books on my Buzzword Readathon list, which I may or may not get to, just due to the fact that the Buzzword Readathon falls on the first week of my fall quarter, so I may be a little busy, but I think I'll be able to do it. I have 2 more books, one of which I've also found at the thrift store recently, which is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff, which is, I think, just about an assassin school, and that's really all I needed to know. It sounds really good. Unfortunately, the font is literally minuscule, and I didn't realize that when I picked it up, and if you don't know, I have quite bad eyes, and so I'm a little nervous about it, but we'll see how that goes. And then another book that I picked up at the thrift store with the express purpose of having the word night in it is Wedding Night by Sophie Kinsella. Sophie Kinsella is basically a chick lit queen, and this book is about a woman named Lottie whose boyfriend doesn't propose to her when she thinks he's going to, so she runs off with this other guy, and their family and friends are like, what are you doing? Please figure yourself out. And that's all that I know about this one, but I think it'll be a really fun romp. So here are all the books that I have picked to read in September. This may look like a lot, but I do have most of the month off from school, and I'll be able to, I think, get to all of these. I'll definitely keep you updated on my Instagram and hopefully through some reading vlogs this month. But yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know if you're also participating in the Bookoplathon or Buzzword Readathon and what you're reading for them. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!